Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Noor Aina Abdul Razak, and I'm going to present a paper on a study on social interaction among university students during MCO. Other members of the research is Dr. Nurhanim Abdul Rahman and Puan Rafizah Kecil. Three of us are from Jabatan Sains Komputer and Matematik, UITM Cawangan Pulau Pinang. My presentation will include the introduction, research objective, methodology, results and discussion, and lastly the conclusion. Let's look at the introduction. For years, teaching and learning processes had undergone various changes and improvements from face-to-face to online learning that was introduced few years before the pandemic struck. And with the implementation of MCOs, the government and the Ministry of Education in particular have urged schools and universities to conduct online learning. It is known as ODL and has become part of our lives, especially for those in educational system. Following the MCOs, various studies have been carried out since the emergence of the pandemic, and one of the areas that triggered concern among researchers is the consequences of ODL on social interaction. There were few studies done in 2020, and one of it is from Bernadetta that found although ODL encouraged the students to be more independent, the physical absence of the lecturers restricted them to monitor their students more closely. And Mehal supported that lack of interpersonal interaction due to online environment can be harmful and then led to students' dissatisfaction and create barriers among lecturers and students. Elmer found that interaction and co-studying networks had reduced since more students were studying alone. Our research objective is to investigate and comprehend the consequences of ODL on social interactions, especially among students in UITM Cawangan, Pulau Pinang. The methodology. Questionnaires were shared through WhatsApp, Telegram and U-Feature from 1st October 2020 until 28 February 2021. We had 191 respondents among the students of UITM Pulau Pinang. The questionnaires consist of three parts, where the first part has 4 demographic questions. The second part, there are 4 questions related to the internet accessibility and the ODL preferences. The last part consists of 10 questions on social interactions. The survey ended with the analysis on the 5-point Likert scale from strongly disagree to strongly agree, where the results were then analyzed using the SPSS 16. These are survey questions for the third part, where the first one, the prolonged use of e-learning tools often leads to boredom, nervousness and tension. The second question, I don't recommend continuing with the online learning model because it is socially and psychologically unhealthy. Following all those questions until the question 10, when lecturers are not particularly visible, some aspects of the traditional teacher role was missing. So these questions are all in the negative form. The result of the survey from the demographic information, it shows that from the 191 respondents, the female students are 45.5% and the female students are 54.5%. And this table also shows that 68.1 respondents were below 22 years old, where those between 23 and 33 years old contributed 26.7%, whereas the remaining is 5.2% from the total respondents. 75.4% of them comprise of undergraduate students, which are degree and diploma students, and majority of them came from almost equally distributed areas which were urban, 46.6% and suburban 30.4% and the rural area 23%. This paper also includes the demographic study on the data plan internet speed and the preferable learning styles and satisfaction towards ODL. This table shows that 188 respondents or 98.4% of the students had either limited or unlimited data plan that would facilitate them during their ODL. 87.41% or 167 respondents were occupied with fast and medium speed of the internet line connection, and more than half of the students favored blended learning, whereas another 14.7% preferred total ODL. However, there were still some of them who preferred the traditional way of face-to-face session, which is about 31.9%. Out of 191 respondents, 111 of them were satisfied with the method of learning, but 9.4% felt that ODL did not benefit their understanding of learning. Okay, the survey results. Okay, from this survey results on social interaction, majority of the students, which is over 50%, agreed to all items that ODL session affected their social interaction negatively. They agreed that prolonged study at home could lead to tension socially and psychologically unhealthy and lessen their physical activities. The model summary and the ANOVA. Further analysis to convey the relationship between the ODL and social interaction was done, and the result shows that the value of R is 0.818, meaning that there is a strong positive relationship between ODL and social interaction. Furthermore, the R squared is 0.669. Okay, the R squared 0.669 indicates that 66.9% of the variation in ODL can be explained by the social interaction. So from the ANOVA, it can be seen that the significant value is 0.000, this significant value, which means there are negative consequences of ODL and social interaction, since the survey questions were stated negatively. As a conclusion, there were negative consequences of ODL on social interaction. In future, the study needs to expand to students in other campuses too. Besides social interaction, the survey could also include psychological impact, and following that, we can investigate the relationship between social impact and psychological impact. That's all for our presentation. Thank you.